Welcome to the Mel Hurry Show, where we talk all things film, media and entertainment. Hi everyone, and welcome to the Mel Hurry Show. So today I have my very first guest on the first episode of this podcast is a very long time friend, Craig Quinn. So Craig, welcome to the Mel Hurry Show.
Thanks for having me, Mel.
No worries. So I guess, from the background that I know you from, you're a writer, director, producer, and actor. Is there anything else that I need to add to those accolades?
I don't think so, no.
No, okay.
That's pretty much the scope of what I do.
Excellent. So in terms of like your background and how you kind of went into filmmaking in general, tell us and the viewers a bit about your journey.
It was just like the filmmaking was just kind of how it all started was just kind of random.
Mm-hmm.
My mate was making a film and said, "Oh, do you just fancy being an extra on this?" And I'm like, "All right." So I did that, and he said, I improvised lines in, and he said, that was really good. And like I didn't really think anything of it for about 2 years, and I started working as a youth worker. And from there, we was doing like a radio kind of drama.
Yeah.
And the guy who was running it said, you're really creative. Do you want to come and help me out on this film I'm doing? Yeah, I've done anything like that before. I was like, yeah, a little bit. And I went down and helped him. And then I just kind of started learning things like that. I've always had visions for stories.
Yeah.
And then I just kind of like went on from there. So slightly self-taught, slightly some on the job kind of thing. And then just started networking with different people, connecting, getting to workshops and things like that. Went to drama groups to brush up on the acting as well.
Brilliant. Did you have like an idea, like when you started to get the experience as to what sort of area you really wanted to get into, or were you just kind of open to trying everything?
First, I thought if I was to do it where I could show people I can do everything, that was kind of my idea. But then I kind of as I started to grow a bit more as an entrepreneur kind of thing, I started to think, right, what do I want to be known for?
Yeah.
I've got to do what I want to be known for. And, if I kind of drift from genre to genre, 1 minute I'm doing a gangster film, then I'm doing a comedy, and then I'm doing a horror, I'm not building an audience in that genre or that niche. So in the end, I just said, right, horror it is.
Yeah, horror is definitely brilliant. That's good. Which nicely brings me into the next question. It's about your movie, The Wrong Side. So tell us a little bit more about The Wrong Side and a little bit about the concept of the film.
Well, basically, Wrong Side is the way to describe it to people who haven't seen it yet. It's slightly like Halloween meets Line of Duty.
Absolutely. Yeah, I got that vibe.
Yeah. So basically, Wrong Side is about Detective Inspector Thomas Shaw, who's played by me. He thinks that he caught the gas mask killer, this serial killer, 5 years previous, but then it turns out it was the wrong guy they got, and the murders have carried on without the under the guise of the gas mask killer. Now he's just decided to come back into that kind of identity. So it's up to Tommy and the rest of his team to catch this guy, but there's all sorts of struggles with police corruption and things like that, and all sorts of barriers you have to overcome.
Excellent, good. And like, how long did it take you to make? So obviously this is a feature film. We know it doesn't take, it's not a short amount of time. Like, what was the whole concept from start of project to end project?
Well, we started piecing it together around about March 2021.
Excellent, yeah.
I think it was right at the beginning of March, and we got on set in April 2021. We fully wrapped on the film, pickups, everything done in October of that year.
Wow.
And then so then it was just down to post-production, and we did pretty well with that. We got the film up and ready in April this year. So it wasn't a bad thing when it came to like, the time scale.
Yeah.
Like, it would have been quicker, but I was off performing places. I was doing stuff like Journey to Hell, scare acting.
Yeah.
So a lot of that was taking up like that, take up like a month. And then I went on the tour in December 2021. So that took up a bit more of my time.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Were there any memorable moments that kind of stick out for you when you were filming?
Um,
So many.
there's
Anything key, anything hilarious that kind of happened on set that you're willing to share?
trying to think. There was one situation when Marius, who plays Delgard, right?
Yeah.
So this is pretty legendary. Like on our set, we've got something called the beaver screen.
Okay.
And basically, it's where I stand where nobody can see me, and I do the loudest scream ever.
Yeah.
So Marius is there, who plays Roland Delgard,
Yeah.
the vampire-looking dude. He's there putting on his makeup, and I wanted to get him back because he filmed me while I was asleep.
Okay, I can see where this is going.
Out.
Yeah.
I passed out, and he filmed myself out. Right, I'm not having this. So I went like right up behind him, and he's only got like a small mirror, and I kind of like hid. And I jumped up, did this loud. It's how I can describe it as I can't do it on a scare everybody, but it's like the loudest scream you can ever hear, and that was like right next to him. So he jumped, his mirror fell out of his hand.
Oh my gosh!
Eyeliner. I ran out the door.
Brilliant. Okay, that's a great way to get back at someone for the lack of sleep.
Yeah.
How was his ears afterwards? Did he survive the rest of that?
He did. I think he got his own back on me, as you'll see in the film. I think it was the day we did the infamous where he spits the blood out at me. So,
oh yeah. That was pretty gory.
Yeah. So I think I can't remember if that happened before or after, but yeah.
Oh, brilliant. Oh, that's great. And it's always nice to have like little like anecdotes and like situations that happen like that, because it just makes the journey of making a movie just that bit more special as well. So you can look back on it.
It's like there's all sorts of things like it's me and Chris Cutler mainly who instigate all that. He played Nathan Vernon, the I Nathan Vernon, but where we were filming both, we were always doing things just to like to each other and like to other people, but it's just to create that vibe. If you're filming in the heat and things like that, because most of the wrong side, it was like it is now every day.
Yeah, exactly. It was
every time we filmed, it was a heat wave. It was the hottest day of the year. So
yeah, perfect timing. But yeah, so you must have like again, you needed that bit of banter and everything between that just to make it easier on yourselves. So in terms of like casting, what was your like journey of casting? Were you involved on that side? Was it someone else that kind of took over the casting?
Yeah, I was in charge of like a lot of the casting because it was my first film in 4 years. Because I took a break.
Yeah.
Just to go have kids by myself.
Yeah.
That ended up not in the best avenues for my mental health. So the way things ended there. So like it was like first film in 4 years. I thought I'd go to the trusted people, and then it was just like adverts on Facebook. We need somebody for this role. We need somebody for that role. That's how it was like. Chris Cutler came. Roger Hayhurst, my producer. He's the producer now, but I'd known him for a while, done a lot of music videos with him. He just, expressed interest, right?
Brilliant.
A right with a role kind of thing.
Excellent. Yeah, no, that's really good. And obviously, you've mentioned you took a break for 4 years. And I think, you'll find like with a lot of filmmakers, you do go through that element. I know even for myself, there is a period where you're like, right, I need to take a gap, things happen, and and you feel like actually let's get restarted. How did you get to that stage where you were like, I'm ready to make a film? What was your trigger point? Was it just to kind of have a distraction, or what was the
Well, I think what it came to is basically my relationship ended after 10 years.
Right, okay.
And I thought, right, so I didn't think it was a fair reflection on my film career before.
Sure.
While I was in that relationship, because you do things, because couple things and things like that, it does take a lot of your time. So I thought, if I come back, start making films again, we can see how it is, you know, with just me on my own.
Yeah.
Me going for it, you know, it means I can put more time into it, basically.
Yeah.
So that's what I wanted to see, and you know, I'd say that process has worked, and it's been a fair test so far.
Brilliant. Excellent. Yeah, and again, sometimes you just need to throw yourself into it and then see, and you know, where you have got that, you know, that bit more time as well, throw yourself into it, see what happens. And look, you know, from watching The Wrong Side, you did really well. Like, it was absolutely brilliant. So I must admit, I did enjoy the watch. And yeah, and I definitely got the Halloween vibes. I was like, right, Craig's watched a lot of horror movies, and I could really see, I could really see
that's
those
it,
in there.
because I spent, I don't know if I think touch on this, I spent a lot of time watching Halloween 1978.
Yes,
I
yeah.
always thought, who's the gas mask killer like?
Yeah.
No, I wouldn't say he's like Jason Voorhees, where, you know, I wouldn't say he's like that, where it's kind of like stalking multiple victims, then going. It's more like he's, you know, he'd be driving, you know, he'd be doing this. So I watched a lot of Halloween, like how I was going to shoot it.
Yeah.
And that's basically, you know, a lot of that was like POV of walking, things like that.
Definitely.
And, you know, there was a lot of car shots that we left out, but we got that very good car shot, you know, where it goes from like the front windscreen all the way over to the driver. So that was inspired by Halloween 1978.
Brilliant. Yeah. I mean, that for me is one of my favorites anyway. That and Halloween 2 were just excellent. I mean, going on, like in terms of your influences, would you say it was definitely more of a John Carpenter influence that you had, or were there other influences that kind of made you steer the wrong side in some different angles as well?
Yeah. So I'd say, you know, a lot of my influences, you know, in horror, you know, John Carpenter most definitely.
Yeah.
You know, I like how Texas Chainsaw Massacre was made,
Yes.
which is pretty much the basis for the film I'm editing at the moment, Bohog. But like, I think when it comes to Wrong Side, I wanted kind of like that darkness of Halloween, and you know, I wanted it to be kind of noir, like a noir film, like, you know, where, you know, very much saturation there. But I'd say, yeah, in particular John Carpenter, because I just like Halloween in 1 and 2. If you said to me, right, you're gonna have to have your films inspired by those 2 films now, every film you make can do it. So, you know, just the way it's shot, like there's a real good shot, there's a real good long take in Halloween 2, where they're in the hospital, like the cafeteria, and it introduces characters, establishes characters and what they're like, all in 2 minutes. I think it establishes 4 characters and the traits like that. Really underestimated shot, real underestimated scene, I think.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I could definitely see that coming through from The Wrong Side. I mean, so you were playing multiple roles, like in terms of cast and crew member. What was that like for you, having to act, direct, you know, check the script, making sure it's following the script? What was that like for you? I can imagine you probably like wearing multiple hats at one time at one point.
Yeah. Well, there's the scripts itself. No actual feature scripts exist for Wrong Side. It was all like kind of, right, here's the basic story.
Okay.
You know, we're just going to sort out how we get from A to B there. And then we got people in the first weekend to see who could work like that. And then eventually we'd write dialogue. So there was some scenes that were scripted, others that weren't. Like, for example, the beginning scene where the gas mask killer goes into the house, there was nothing for that. There was absolutely no script. Then I'd say where the scene with Dean Carroll, Shaw and Vernon, that was script. That was like 50. I know it took 15 minutes to shoot each take.
Yeah.
On the hottest day of the year in that room. So it was things like that. But, you know, Chris Cutler came in. He provided quite a lot. Like, pretty much looked around and said, you know, this shoot kind of needs, like, I don't know, an AD or, you know, another producer. He kind of fit into that role, and I wanted him to do that. You know, Roger Hayhurst, he jumped in, and it was a lot of it was like, you know, sometimes there was some crew members just jumping in, cast members jumping in as crew. Like they'd just say, "Oh, do you need anyone to do sound?" Yeah, go on. And they do sound and things like that, or someone just turning the lighting for us. So there was quite a lot of that going on.
Brilliant. And I think that just helps as well because everyone's ready to pitch in. So there's a lot of cross collaboration. It's not just that's your role, stay in it. Seems like it was a really positive atmosphere for everyone to kind of chip in and kind of where needed.
Yeah, and I think it helped, you know, because we just come out of lockdown.
Yes.
People hadn't done it for a while. And so they were just willing to, you know, do anything they could. So I'd say that helped as well.
Yeah, excellent. Good. So, I mean, you're working on the sequel now. Tell us a bit about the sequel. What can we anticipate from The Wrong Side 2?
Oh,
more blood?
Yes. There will be. It's going to be gorier. We had the first film pretty gory, but this one, there's some bits we've wrote already that are very gory. So Tommy's going to come back. He's going to be a bit more emotionally charged, a bit more aggressive, a bit more resentful. So there's kind of things that we're looking at with that. I think there's about 7 or 8 characters coming back, and then I think there's 6 new ones. Nice. So yeah. So that's basically the stage we're at the minute.
Excellent. Do you have an anticipation of when you're looking to have this ready post-production?
Filming starts in autumn next year. So autumn 2024. We hope to be wrapped by the first week of January 2025.
Right.
And then we'll hopefully, you know, we can get it done 6-month edit and see where we go from there.
Excellent.
So it's a good starting point to start an edit in January, because then you've got the whole year.
Exactly. Yeah, it definitely gives you that time. And also you can avoid those heat waves as well, can't you?
Yeah, it's becoming very hard to edit in a heat wave. And obviously, you know, if we're filming in autumn, there'll be no heat waves. The point of Wrong Side 2 is it all takes place at Christmas.
Oh, nice. Okay.
So it's going to be like a Christmas horror.
Brilliant. Okay, that's good. I'll look forward to that. That'll be really, really good to see it. Especially like Christmas horrors always work strangely well, because it's just, you know, obviously it's a wonderful time of the year, but then you've got like this slasher that's causing a bit of mayhem. So I'll look forward to that. Definitely. Sounds really good. So in terms of like, so I mean, part of this show, you know, we try to look at things around mental health and diversity in particular. I mean, that's a huge passion of mine. How do you manage like your well-being, say like between the films as well, because they're very intense, so it's like intense horror? So how do you kind of get yourself out of that kind of mode and probably get more into a normal day-to-day living after you've shot for such a long time?
Well, that is quite a bit of misery when you finished it. You're not going to filming anymore. So basically, like at the moment, I'm due to start a film in July. I haven't been on set for any of my own films since February.
Okay.
So I've had quite a long time to recuperate. So it's been a good rest, but like a lot of the time I find I like to channel that mental energy into what I do. So it kind of cuts me off from things that, you know, like, so, you know, people, you know, be negative about the way the country's going, and, you know, it's a good break from that. Or, you know, I think a lot of what's to do with these days is it's shared problems. Things like that. So it's just good to break away from that. And, you know, a lot of the time I'll just get my head in the edit, and, you know, I'm just very good at I've got a good mindset as well, you know, because I'm a qualified mindset coach. So
excellent.
So I know how to repair myself. I know how to boost the morale of others.
Brilliant.
So, you know.
Good. Have you got any tips for anyone? And this is me just kind of moving into your mindset coaching now. Have you got any tips for those filmmakers that might find it a little bit of a struggle after they finish a project and kind of going back to a bit of normality before the next one?
You just got to remember, what you're doing is premiere thing.
Mm-hmm.
There's a very, I'd say, an elite thing, but mostly premiere. No, not a lot of people out there can say that they do what you do. And the best thing to do is think about the long game. Don't just think about this, what you've just finished now. What I'd be doing is I'd be thinking about what I'm going to do next.
Yeah.
Now, whether it's because you'll find if you're just going straight into an edit on something you've worked maybe 6 months on, you can kind of get a little bit bored of doing that, being stuck on that thing, and especially if you're editing it.
Yeah.
So the best thing to do is just plan your next move. Be planning your next move. Like when you're on set of that film, be having ideas. It's like when we was on Wrong Side, we was thinking about Boarhog. I think we'd only been filming Wrong Side a month. We were thinking about Boarhog.
Yeah.
Where we was on Boarhog, we had another feature film come up. And, when we was doing that, we were thinking of other things. So it's always, if you can always keep that, always keep thinking about the long game, you'll find the reality check of when you wrap up on a project, and now it's like, that won't be as severe if you're just focusing on the long run.
Always looking for the next thing. Brilliant. Excellent. Do you have any other points or any other tips for, say, new filmmakers starting to enter the world of filmmaking? What would you advise yourself? I guess that's probably a better question. What would you have told yourself when you had started on this filmmaking journey? What sort of advice would you give yourself?
Well, I touched on it before, but at the time I didn't. I go, do what you want to be known for. Take your 3 points of interest. So, like my next script, it's all about gaming, conspiracy theories,
excellent,
and horror.
Yeah.
So take your 3 points of interest, like 3 things that really mean a lot to you in life, and base everything around that. And then it's not a case of you always do the same thing, because you can always change it and reinvent it.
Yeah.
So I'd say that's my advice. Just do what you're known for. Get yourself in a niche. Once you become known in that niche, everything becomes a little bit easier, and you get out there a bit more, and film festival organisers know you because, you submit your films every year. That sort of thing.
Excellent. Thank you so much, Craig. So where can our viewers and listeners find more about Craig Quinn or about The Wrong Side?
You can follow me on Instagram. The username, because I'm a big Beetlejuice fan.
Okay.
It's at the recently deceased _.
Okay. Yeah.
I'm the same on TikTok. And you can just type me in on Facebook, Craig Quinn. There's the YouTube Fate of Blood Films, the name of the production company. That's where you can find everything you need to know about me.
Excellent. So viewers and listeners, you're going to have all those details in the description. So make sure you follow Craig, follow the journey of The Wrong Side, and you'll find all you need to know about the filmmaking journey that he's on, which is absolutely brilliant. And again, we've been friends for quite a long time, through social media, and I've seen that journey, and it's been absolutely phenomenal. So congratulations to you on this movie, and obviously the sequel, and Boarhog as well, which I'm excited for as well.
Thank you. No, thanks for staying with me.
No worries at all. Great. Okay, thanks a lot, Craig. Thanks so much for being a guest on the Mel Hurry Show.
No worries. Thank you, Mel.
I hope you enjoyed the show. For more content on social media, don't forget to follow at Mel Hurry Films on Instagram, or you can email me at themelhurry@gmail.com. Take care. Bye.